Hello and welcome to episode 99 of the Back Nine Six Pack. My name is Mitch, joined as always by my esteemed colleague Justin. I gotta say, love's in the air and life is better with you by my side, Val.
You know what's funny is I totally skipped over that last week. Totally skipped over it. Missed opportunity, honestly.
Yeah.
But I'm glad to have you back. Love is in the air. I hope people enjoyed last week, but it's just not the same. It just isn't. Um, yeah. So love is in the air.
Yeah. If for anyone that doesn't get that reference, I'm referencing the Tiger Woods Instagram post announcing his new relationship. One of the wildest, kind of weirdest things I think I've seen pop up on
Very
social
weird.
media in a while.
Dude, it was like on a Sunday too. Like it was like a very non-news time. Like it
Yeah.
was just so weird. Such a weird time to release it.
So I've learned some things recently with the kids are doing this days. You know, you can soft launch your significant other, or you can hard launch them. I've learned this.
Didn't know that.
So like a soft launch, I guess, is when you like kind of subtly like post pictures here and there of, you know, maybe a handhold or, you know, a shared beverage or meal, but you don't like fully come out with your SO. So Tiger and Vanessa here went for the full hard launch on a Sunday afternoon. The weirdest thing was like the two pictures were so different. It was like the first one, he looked real like haggard and just like tired. Like he definitely looked like he just had Achilles surgery in it. And the other one, he's like chilling in the hammock with the shades on. It's like
a weird
selfie stick. It was, I don't know, just really weird.
I think I'm gonna soft launch my marriage after 13 years. I'm gonna soft launch it back onto Facebook or an Instagram.
It could be the move. It's like instead of renewing your vows, you know,
you soft launch your renewal of your relationship on
you
Facebook
relaunch,
or Instagram.
You relaunch like, hey, I'm happy to announce that I've been married for 13 years.
Yeah,
know?
Here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go.
So,
it was very weird. Missed opportunity on my part. I realized that after I got done recording. I'm like, shit. I'm like, totally forgot to mention that. And that was a big part of golf in that week. So
I mean, the best part is that means I got it tonight for the thumbnail and the episode title and all that. So that's good. We'll just be a week late on the meme of it all. So that's fine.
It was funny, though. Last week when I was recording, Danielle was like, it was weird because I knew no one was on with you and you were just down there talking. It's like, it was as weird for you as it was for me. Like, I'm like posing questions to myself. It was quite the experience. That's the second time I've done that. I had a guest lined up. We're not going to name him. We're not trying to shame him because this is not his show. We had some obstacles to get over, but it was that was the second time I've done it, and I've gotten better at it. It's still not easy. It's hard to talk, even for someone like me. It's really hard to talk for that long.
Yeah, two things. One, you got like 45 minutes. Like, I don't know how I could go more than 20 by myself. Yeah. And then the other thing is like honestly, the thing about like the old school kind of like sports radio hosts, those guys who would just sit in the booth for 3 hours,
3 hours. Like, honestly, I love those old school guys. I'm so much more impressed. Because even with like, if I had commercial breaks, like we're talking like maybe an hour and 10 minutes. Yeah. Maybe an hour and 20. So for those guys to get like 3 hours, that's impressive. Even more respect for those guys.
Yeah. Well, shout out to you for holding it down for another week without me. And you kept it respectable and tight on the Kentucky talk. So I'm proud.
I did. You told me to. You're like, I don't want to lose listeners. And I'm like, you're bringing up a sore subject right now, though. I'm sorry. I mean, we can get into it if you want to, but
you got 1 minute. Go.
So I will say this: with all the injuries that they dealt with this year, they made it further than I thought they were going to make it. I mean, if you take the lead point guard off a team and their best scorer off of any team, like thinking about the teams that are in the Elite Eight, right? That were just in the Elite Eight. Tennessee, you take their point guard and their lead scorer off the team, they may lose in the first round. You take the lead point guard and the lead scorer off of Florida, not a lot left after that. So, and those are just two examples. But for what he did to make it to the Sweet 16, we lost to a team we beat twice. I'm not happy about that. I hate Tennessee fans too. Their wives chew tobacco. It's weird. It's a weird thing in Tennessee, But I'm excited. I'm excited about the future. I met a Kentucky fan. I'm out of town right now. Met a Kentucky fan in my hotel. We were sitting there talking. The portal's moving fast this year because of the whole ruling thing coming down, I think April 8th or something like that. So guys are trying to get signed and get their NIL deal signed before this ruling comes down because it might actually cap some guys. So we're moving fast. I love Mark Pope. I think I said this last week. Calipari, when he took over the job, was the perfect guy for the job. He's the only guy for the job. I think Mark Pope at this point is the only guy. I'm excited. I was a little heartbroken on Friday. It sucked. No one likes. That's the hard part about March. There's only one team that finishes on a win. Same with the Super Bowl and stuff like that. It's an abrupt ending, to a really, really long season. But I love this team. One of my favorite teams, and I've been watching Kentucky basketball for close to 30 years. Probably close to one of my favorite teams that I've been a part of. So kudos to those guys. We move on to next year. I'm going to the father-daughter camp this year. So I'll get to meet Mark Pope this year. I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, no more Coach Cal pictures.
No, I think I'm going to wear my Mark Pope jersey. I don't think it's going to fit, but we're going to try.
Man. There you go. Pour one out for the 2024-2025 Wildcats. Cheers to them. Please, if you're still here, smash the like button. Subscribe, rate, and review the show. Follow us on social media at Back96Pack. No fan mail this week, but as always, that link is down in the description if you want to send us something. Just a quick little Our Golf, quick hitter here. I know you haven't played much.
Yeah.
You did send us your new golf bag, which looked pretty nice.
Dude, it's sick. I'm actually a little sad that I didn't get to hang around and pack it up and get everything ready. I kind of picked it up and went home and then left to go out of town. So, dude, I'm ready for golf. Now that I got I think that's what kind of was holding me back. I'm not overly excited about golf. I think the weather hasn't been, we've had a couple nice days, but now that I got my new golf bag, I'm ready to go. I want to get back out on the course tomorrow if I could.
Yeah, we Friday afternoon we had perfect weather here, and I was like, all right, I haven't even sniffed a golf course in 5 months or whatever it's been, 4 months. So drove over to the club, after work, got in a quick 18, 2.5 hours, spun around there by myself. Didn't run into anybody till the last 2 holes. It was awesome. I feel the total opposite way I felt after that rain session that I told you about, where I was like, God, things are dog shit. I can't
lost
swing.
in the sauce.
Actually going out and playing golf and doing it in really, it was really windy. It was gusting 30 at times probably. So actually going out there and just hitting golf shots, not nothing was stock almost, everything's downwind or into the wind or whatever.
That's a tough thing about this time of year.
I know
the wind. Look, I think it's a good practice. You need to hit the ball well in the wind, but you don't get a good feel of how far you're hitting things when you're playing in the wind, because you're always hitting less or more, right? Yeah. You're never hitting the actual club you should be hitting.
Yeah, so I mean that's the caveat to what I'm saying here, but at the same time, I feel way more encouraged after this round of golf than I did at the driving range a couple weeks ago. I didn't have what I would have had I not taken a month off of speed training, obviously, but I can feel a difference from not only just how my speed and my swing was at the end of last year, but more so doing the speed training. I text you guys this this is the most prepared that I've been to go play golf coming off of a winter.
Yeah.
I didn't have any of the the golf soreness or just I felt athletic and flexible. I felt like I was ready to play golf coming out of not playing for 4 months, way more than I ever have in my entire life. So that was cool to feel.
Yeah, I will tell you this. When I played in Mexico, I felt like my body was in the best shape to play golf that I think I've ever had it, at least probably since college. Um, I think that has a lot to do with like the leg stuff I've been doing. Like
Mm.
I'm leg pressing like this is I'm gonna give myself a kudos right now. I'm leg pressing almost 600 pounds right now. Like
Huh.
I'm serious. Like I've made it a point to kind of make my legs stronger, and I feel like it's made my like base stronger. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and from a walking standpoint, just a walking standpoint alone, like your legs are not going to get as tired. But I feel you though. I felt like I felt I didn't play great down in Mexico, but I felt like I was in like more preparation, like a better preparation to play than
Yeah.
I felt in a really long time,
Yeah.
probably.
It's not, I mean, I didn't come out and shoot an amazing score. I told you I shot 81. Had a couple doubles. One was like a real skanky lost ball, and the other one I was super downwind and I flew the green on 4 red. So that was just shitty. Uh, but other than that, like it was one of those rounds where if I had come out any other past year, I would have made like 6 doubles and
Yeah,
gotten an
something
80.
stupid
You know
like
what I
that.
mean?
Yeah,
Just
yep.
for whatever reason, like I just felt better about it all, and it was like, okay, like that. If that, I feel like I've raised my floor this off season. Still a lot of work to do with the swing. I can tell you, like I hit some truly atrocious, like bad shots, but nothing I couldn't recover from. And like I said, I just feel like the foundation's a little bit better built coming out of the off season this year than it has been in the past.
Yeah, I you know, I think at our age that I think if you, we're still at the age where if you take care of your body, like, and I'm not even talking like, you know, like what you're doing, right? Like you're training for a half marathon. I'm not even talking about that. Like doing the bare minimum stuff, like of stretching and just like going and lifting weights, even 3 days a week, you would be surprised at what it will do for your body as far as like just getting it prepared. So like that first round of golf where you're like, holy shit, I'm sore. You know, I don't think you're going to feel that as much when you get done, right?
Yeah.
And you're going to feel a little stronger. You know, it's crazy. I didn't know this until about 2 or 3 months ago, but I was reading an article. Do you know after 30 years old, you lose like 5% of your muscle mass every year?
Yeah, I don't know what the exact stat is, but yeah,
It's something
there's like
like
a
that.
point.
It's
Yeah,
it's a crazy amount that you, if you don't do anything, you start losing that much every year, and it's um and that, you know, and that, literally, I think right after I finished that article, like, we're not waiting until January. Like, we're gonna start now and
yeah,
like prepare because it is like seriously, you get to 30, things start getting a little weird, right?
yeah.
Including your golf swing, you
Yeah,
know.
for sure. It's yeah, as simple as like getting out of bed in the morning feels different, right? Like it
Yeah,
just truly, it just
like
does. You
there's
get to
just
that
some
point.
days you wake up and you're like, not today, not
Yeah,
this is not my day. So
I mean, I can tell you, I've look. The crazy part is like last time I ran the half marathon, it was 2 years ago. Uh, Last year barely got to run at all. Just didn't. Just the way the year went, it didn't work out for me. And then this year having the appendix thing,
yeah,
doing
God,
like all this stuff, like the combo of the appendix thing and being 35 instead of just 33 or whatever, it's a big deal.
it is.
I'm struggling through this training like I did not the first time around. So we're gonna see. I think this year I had a lofty goal, but honestly, it's like I'm to the point where it's like, all right, keep the legs moving and finish the race. Like I
Yeah,
don't want to stop. I don't want to stop running, and I just want to finish. That's kind of where I'm at.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I get
No,
it.
I'm
But yeah,
excited. I think we're getting very close to golf season. I think I last time I played was probably 2.5, 3 weeks ago. It was kind of a long time ago. So I need to get back into it. We got events coming up sooner rather than later. So
yeah.
um, I don't even know. Trying to remember the last time I even touched a golf club, like hit a golf ball. I think it was probably when I played 3 weeks ago. So, um, yeah, not great. Not the vibes that we want.
No, I'm more than ready. After Friday, like oh my god, I just feel so alive again. Like I just how bad the weather's been. Getting out there and then playing that round, like truly was like
Yeah,
soul
I saw an
soul
official
filling.
stat: 61 days of snow cover this year.
Yeah, just crazy.
Not cool.
Not cool. Definitely not cool. All right, before we get into pro golf stuff, I was inspired by I think there's a social media post going around. People probably saw it. this guy had like power ranked the most frustrating things in all of sports, like as a fan. So, like
Jesus.
things like jumping off sides on 4th down or whatever, getting a false start penalty on 3rd down, things like that. So we're going to twist a little bit, and we're going to power rank, because we haven't done one in a while, the most frustrating things in golf. Now, I know you had asked me the question. I think you might have had a bunch of different thoughts in mind.
I did. I narrowed them down after we talked.
Yeah. So my mind went straight to like, what are the most frustrating things that happen while I'm playing?
You're doing right. Yeah.
So I think that's how we're going to caveat this. Most frustrating things in golf as it relates to you yourself playing the sport. I will kick us off. Actually, you know what? Honorable mention, because this one, I kind of felt like it could be in the list, but also it's very much like it's part of the game. It's a rubber the green thing. So it's not the most frustrating. It's more annoying. But I think landing in a divot in the fairway or an unraked lie in a bunker.
Yeah, that was actually one of my honorable mentions. Not in the top 6.
That's my honorable mention for me as well.
Just because it's a stupid rule. It is. And I think that's something they should change. Like if you're in the fairway, you should not have to hit out of a divot. But it wasn't high enough to like get into, you know what I mean? Like, because it's part of golf, like I'm like, it is what it is. So
yeah, I agree. And they're frustrating for different reasons.
And it's luck, right? Like that, I think that's why I didn't make mine, because the other ones are like my doing, and it's not like a luck thing, right?
Yeah. So it's a little bit different that way. But I do think these two things are different in that like the divot thing is more just bad luck. The unraked lie in a bunker thing, someone else did.
Yeah, that's scumbag material. Right? Yeah. So
that's tough. I think that's a little more frustrating. But I'm totally with you. If you're in a divot in the fairway, that should be, I don't know, it's like ground and repair. Just relief and move on.
Well, you think about the ground and repair reliefs that people get in the PGA Tour and everything. It's like that's a better lie than in a divot. You know what I mean? They're getting ground under repair relief. And so I don't know. Yeah. I would say that the only reason it didn't make my list is because it's a luck thing, right? Like it's just bad luck, oh well. So
yeah, I'm with you. All right. Kicking off number 6 for me. I'm going to go with when you're playing in rhythm and then you hit the slow play wall.
Yeah, that sucks.
So if you're in a good groove and you're moving and just kind of the pace is like setting itself and you're just not thinking, you're just playing, and then all of a sudden you got to start rehearsing practice swings because you're killing time and you're looking at yardages over and over and you're overthinking. It just takes you out of rhythm, and that is frustrating.
That sucks. I did not think of that one, actually. I will say, I don't know if it would have made my list, but I didn't even think of that. That does suck. It really does.
Yeah.
Like, especially if you're playing well, too. It's one thing if you're playing bad. It's like, okay, I need a little breather. You probably think of it in a different light. But if you're playing good and you're like, oh, God, here we go. Like, my next 13 holes are going to be, this.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's frustrating both ways. It's, if you're playing well and then it kills your mojo, that sucks. But then if you're playing bad and you're like, God, I just want to get this to the patio.
Yeah, that's fair, too.
Yeah. Now you're out here sucking for even longer. That's tough.
Oh, you know what? All right. So my 6 is a little different avenue here. Hitting a shorter club off the tee to be safe, quote unquote, and then hitting it into trouble.
I totally missed my list, but it should be on the list. That's 100% should be on the list.
How many? It's funny. It's like, I obviously decade golf and stuff. You have aim points and lines that you're supposed to take and what you're supposed to hit off. And like, there's certain times where it's like, hey, like you need to hit something 235 off this tee, right?
Yeah.
And it just fucking just nuking it somewhere, not online, is just so frustrating. It's like the reason they're supposed to be easier to hit is they're shorter clubs, and I've always been one of those people. I think my driver is the straightest club in my bag. Half the time it is. So that it's even more frustrating. Like, why the fuck did I hit something different? Like, what am I thinking? Like, I've been hitting every fairway with my driver, pull out a 4-iron. Oh, right behind the tree. Okay, here we go. You know?
I know that should definitely, especially for me, is like somebody who is often the person that's like hitting the quote unquote safe shot within like our scramble group. And when you fuck that up,
they
it's
fuck it up.
triple
Yeah.
bad. Yeah. So it's just like, that's an oversight on my part. That's a really good shout out. Number 5 for me. When you're playing a match or whatever, this is Fred Couples termed this the Mongolian reversal, where your opponent is like clearly out of the hole, but they pull something out of their ass to win the hole instead. That's like truly, that can throw you off for holes after holes.
Oh, I've never had it happen in the Stampede like you have, but I've had it happen in match play matches, and it fucks with you for a while.
It does.
Like, I'm not even talking like 2 holes. Like I've had a couple happen to me in match play matches. It's fucked with me the whole round.
Yeah.
Like, to the point where I'm like, oh, he's in a hazard. Like, is he going to hold this out? You know what I mean? Like, no, of course he's not going to hole out from 170 yards after taking a drop. But in my head, I'm like, maybe he is. You know, you never know.
Yeah, that's why it's worse when it happens early, because then you get the, like you just said, like
every one that I've ever had happen has been on like the 2nd or 3rd hole.
Exactly.
It's like very early. It's never like on hole 15. It's like 4th hole. Like, here we go. Oh, you know, well, I was 1 up. Now I'm even. And then you get on the next tee box and you're like, what's going to happen here? Is he going to hit it in the creek and then magically make par? Like, you don't know. It does. That, again, missed opportunity. That is not on my list, but that is a very good one.
Yeah, I think this is part of the golf has a lot of like self-fulfilling prophecy shit in it. And yes. I think the Mongolian reversal plays into that. Once it happens to you, you're like, oh, it's just not my day.
Yeah.
And then you're cooked.
Here it is. Yep. Yeah. All right, my number 5, playing in a net game. You make a gross birdie, but someone ties you with a net birdie.
That's like your entire life.
It is my entire life. It happens to me every Friday in my Friday game. I could have 15 birdies and someone would find a way to make a net birdie on all 15 holes.
Yeah.
And the worst part is, shout out to our guy, Scotty. I'll make birdie. Maybe I'm 12 feet away. He's 10 feet away. That nice man that I know will lag his fucking putt up there and tap it in to cancel me out. He won't even try to make it. He doesn't want to try to make it because if he tries to make it, he's going to run it 5 feet past and then miss the comebacker. So he'll weave it 6 inches short and then tap in and tie me.
That is rat
It is
behavior.
it pisses me. Oh, it pisses me off.
Yeah, that
pisses me off to no
rat
end.
Behavior for sure. That's tough. Oh man. All right, number 4 for me. This is man, I feel this in my core. Waiting for a par 5 or a short 4 to clear, and then hitting a dog shit shot. This honestly could have been higher for me, but they're
that
like
could be number 1. That's number 1 material.
I know, like it truly is like some of the worst. Like you want to crawl in a hole and die golf moments in your life are those moments. Like just so bad. It's like you're waiting. It's like, man, I could get there, but I don't know. So I'm gonna wait and then just skank the 3-wood up the fairway. You
know what's so funny? My number 4 is the exact opposite of that.
Great, waiting for a green to clear.
So my number 4 is no. You're on the tee box and you ask people, like especially on a course you never played, hey, are they out of the way? Yeah, they're gone. And then you hit it, and it's like fucking lands right in the middle of them. And then so like you can't run up there and go, "Hey, my playing partner told me that you were out of the way, so I hit." Right?
Yeah,
you can't do that. You just have to take it on yourself. You have to look like the asshole in the group. Yeah. Like, well, I hit my fucking tee shot. I almost hit you. Like the exact opposite of that. Like I've had that happen so many times in tournaments where it's like, dude, you're good. Go ahead. All right. Fuck, dude, that almost took that guy's head off. Like,
stop hitting.
I've noticed it happens a lot in scrambles. You know what I mean? Like where you're playing with like lesser talented people, and they're like, yeah, they might only hit their tee shots 210. Like, oh yeah, let it rip, and then you hit one 275, and it's like flying over their cart. You know what I mean? So that is my number 4. I just can't believe it's the exact opposite. That's funny.
That's hilarious. All right, so somewhat related. If you do happen to hit a good shot into a par 5, a 3-putt par.
Oh God.
just kill me. Especially me, like
it's worth it. That's number 1 material too, by the way.
I mean, 3-putts in general are frustrating. 3-putt par is like truly just devious stuff. Like that's the stuff of nightmares. I have so few like actual eagle like putt attempts, or I have at least to this point in my golf career, that when I have had one and you've done a 3-putt par, it's devastating.
Yes.
Day ruiner.
Because you're like, oh, this is a birdie, you know.
Yeah.
No problem. And then it's, yeah. Oh, that sucks. That is a bad one. What are we on? 3?
3 for you, yep.
3 for me is being greenside in a par 5 and making par worse.
Similar vibes.
Yeah, it's, oh man, like got an easy pitch shot here. Just knock it up to 3 or 4 feet and make our birdie. Next thing you know, you're making bogey. Oh, I chunked the chip. Hit it on. Missed a 5-footer for par. Been there. Lots last year. It felt like it happened a lot last year for me, which is probably why it's pretty high on my list.
Yeah. No, I can see that. I think number 2 here and number 1 as well. Like, these are locks for me. Like, I know I had a couple that you maybe could consider, but like, this is like no doubters. Like these are the moments that make me truly like want to like throw clubs, break clubs, quit golf. Like that's these 2.
I mean, 2 and 1 are I mean, yeah, for sure. We got throwing clubs, like almost a guaranteed club throw.
Yeah.
So go ahead with your 2.
My 2. Doing exactly what you told yourself not to do on a shot. This most often occurs off the tee.
Yes, we got the same number 2. Hey, there's water on the left. You miss right, and then you fucking snap hook it or pull it or whatever. Oh my God.
This is why.
This is a lock. I mean, that is a lock top 2. Hey, like your miss is right here, and then you miss it left, like blatantly left. Like,
yeah, this is why, for people that know our course, this is why the blue course, like, you can get it going so bad on that side.
Eat you if you're lost in the sauce, it can take you into directions that you don't even know you could go.
There are so many holes on that side where it's like, all right, you have the world left or the world right or whatever,
and God forbid you never miss it there.
No. And it like truly will just eat you alive.
What's funny is my really good rounds that I've had on that side, I've always missed the proper side, right?
Yeah.
Like always. Like I don't even have to hit a green. It's like, hey, number 6, right? That pin, it doesn't even matter where it's at on the green. You cannot miss left on that approach shot. I either hit the green or I'm missing right whenever I play well on that side. Or like, the hole before that, you can't miss your tee shot right. But God, you can miss it 4 holes to the left and still be in play.
Yeah.
It is. It's one of those, it's like if you're missing shots where you're not supposed to, that side can get away from you quickly.
There's like 5 holes on that side, I think. Maybe 6, where like
it's just like the miss.
All right.
Yeah. And the miss too. It's like you have plenty of leeway. You just got to hit it where the leeway is.
Yep.
But there's just sometimes it just doesn't work out that way.
No, and I mean I think that's why the whole concept is like think where you're trying to hit it, not where you're not trying to hit it, right? And it's just we're simple creatures, you can't not think about it.
I just love that our 2 was the same exact thing.
I could see our 1 being the same thing too.
Okay, go ahead.
Number 1, chunked wedge after a perfect drive.
Yes. I said stubbing or chunking a wedge/chip.
Yeah.
It's the worst. And you want to talk about, we talked about the whole like match play thing where it gets in your head.
Yeah.
There is nothing that gets in your head like a chunk chip or a chunked wedge. I will guarantee if you chunk a wedge, your next one is going to be so fucking thin that it's like you're going to hit a wedge 190 yards. Like, guaranteed.
It's like, you just smoke the drive. You got to flip wedge in. You're thinking birdie. And then the auto, like, decel just sod laid over it. It goes like 20 yards. It's supposed to go 60. And it's just like you're ready to snap the wedge over the knee.
There's a couple times, like on a chip, I've double hit it because I've chunked it so bad.
Yeah.
In like the last 2 years, I've had like, I won't call them the Y word, but just like a little uneasies, some uneasies over chips.
Yeah.
And it's not fun. Like, it makes golf not enjoyable. It really does.
No. That's the word.
It's almost worse than having the putting wise. I'm not going to say the whole word. But it's almost worse than having the putting wise.
It's like the two of them, because it's like the shortest shots in theory, like should be the easier. It's the scoring moments, right? Like they just feel so much more weighty than if you had the.
Yeah. Again, it just kind of goes back to the last one. It's like for amateur golfers, chipping inside 100 yards, and honestly, professional golfers too, like inside 100 yards, those are scoring shots. If you're hitting them well, and I'm not saying hit every single one perfectly. I'm just saying hitting them good enough to be within scoring distance, your round's just going to be exponentially better.
100%.
This. Yeah. I want to note something in my list because I had a lot of self-reflection doing this list. 3 putting in any form did not make my list. I'm so numb to it that it doesn't even frustrate me anymore.
Interesting, yeah. It did make mine, so that's
Well, you're the best putter. You're the best putter at the club, so I mean, you don't do it much. So
listen, people say that. I don't,
It's rumors.
Yeah. Just rumors.
Oh, that was good, right. Especially going into the golf season. It was good a lot of self-reflection in this list.
Yeah, hopefully we don't have anything to add after we start.
God.
Let's leave it.
It's like you think you've seen everything until something else happens.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll have something. All right, on to some pro golf stuff. I'll take the reins real quick on this one. Best thing I saw in golf this week, I think it had to be Gary Woodland finishing the way he did on Sunday. He tied the course record with a 62 to finish T2. It was his best finish since undergoing his brain surgery in 2023. I know I haven't even got there yet, but I know probably a lot of people listening have, or if you haven't, there's like a episode of Full Swing dedicated to his story on this and where he was in life. And, I know like he had written like letters to his kids, like basically just not knowing.
Yeah, dude, I told you that episode tore me up.
So like, it's one of those things where it's like people that have these medical moments and they bounce back. It's always like, let alone just being alive and well or whatever. This guy's out here playing professional golf and finishing second in a tournament against the best players in the world. So just massive respect to Gary, and he's by all accounts one of the good guys on tour. So super excited for him for that.
I'm gonna stay on the same track here. I've got 2 things actually. First thing, I found Jake Knapp's girlfriend's Twitter account. Electric. She is electric, by the way. Absolutely electric. Let me share something from this weekend.
Interesting.
Jacob's arms look fantastic today. This is the most PG way I could have worded this. Dude, she tweets out some great stuff. I found it through like a comment section, and it was like, someone's like, this is Jake Knapp's girlfriend. It definitely is. Confirmed. It's her. Her Twitter account is unbelievable.
Hey, good for Jake Knapp then,
The other shout out goes to the city of Houston. The golf course that they played this weekend is $38 to play as a citizen of Houston. Holy shit, I wish we had something like that around here. That's amazing. I don't know how hard it is to get a tee time there. I don't know, but I think it's always really cool. And it's like $10 for juniors to play. Like $10. I think it's cool in the PGA to move this tournament there too. I think the more of that is better. You have kids that are going to go play that course next week where they're like, it's like, this is where Scotty Scheffler was, or this is, whatever. I think that's really, really, really cool. So.
Yeah. And I mean, it's always kind of fun when the tour goes to munis and stuff like that.
It's awesome.
You think
Love
they're going to
it.
shoot like 35 under or whatever, but
No.
they only got to 20.
No, and last year this course played a lot harder than it did this year.
Yeah, I heard it was like a lot of overseed, maybe a
little
bit.
They kind of softened it a little bit, yeah. But I mean, this course last year, guys, they really struggled with this course last year. So, but shout out to the PGA Tour. They don't do many things right, but the one thing they did right is move this tournament to a muni. I love it. I love that the juniors can play it, and I think they can start playing it today, like Monday after the tournament. So I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
So
that is cool. Yeah, well, I guess we'll just go right there. Texas Children's Open or Houston Open. Minwoo Lee, the chef, he wins at 20.
God, I love him. I'm so glad. Gets him into the Masters too.
Yeah, first career PGA Tour win. He's had a few on the DP World Tour.
Which I think, by the way, for the record, I think he would have got in on his world ranking, but
probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like the man's electric to watch play. Obviously, he's an entertainer first, maybe. Sometimes probably to a detriment.
For sure, he's definitely an entertainer first, golfer second.
The Adam Wainwright ball he hit on 16 was insane. Just like how gone that was. Seemed like he was coasting to a win until that moment. Scotty's up on the green putting for eagle, and he puts one in the water, makes a bogey. But not to be. He holds on. Gets to the 18th. He's got like a lags it up there to like 6 inches. He gets up there and aim points the 6-inch putt he had. Got a good rise out of the crowd.
He's an absolute menace. That guy is an absolute menace.
Yeah, so that's good for Minwoo. Exciting to see him win. It's weird to say like whether or not he's going to be like. I feel like
star.
There's so many of these guys that you talk about and them because like social media now and all that stuff.
Well, and then Full Swing and stuff like that. He had pretty much his own episode in Full Swing this season.
Yeah, he's in the Bay Club. He's in TGL. So it's like it's hard to know like is this guy going to be like a top 10 player or is he just this is going to be his one win? I don't know. Seems like he has all the talent in the world though. So we'll see. Yeah,
he doesn't lack talent. Yeah, he doesn't lack personality either, which I think to be a star, you kind of have to, unless you're like a Scotty Scheffler level player, like you kind of have to have both of them, right?
Yeah.
So, never hurts.
Yeah, so we'll see. I'm curious just to see how many. It seems like when you get to the big boy tournaments, the game doesn't translate. So I hope that it does. I hope he starts to hit the irons a little better, a little more consistency off the tee, and we can get some more Minwoo in our lives. Top fives and notables. I already mentioned T2 for Gary Woodland. Scotty Scheffler was the other T2, 19 under. Led the field in approach yesterday. So last round before the Masters for him. That's a little bit of a scary stat to see if he's got the iron coming back around.
Yeah.
Fourth place, Sammy Valimaki. Just kind of popped up out of
nowhere.
Who
the fuck is Valimaki?
I actually don't know what he might be. God, I'm going to get in trouble for this. I think he's like Middle European, like
I was gonna say like
or something.
Austrian or Romanian, maybe something like that.
I don't know, but he
as a fellow Romanian, I'd say it's probably pretty close to being Romanian.
That guy's like kind of a unit, so probably need.
Dude, he's an absolute unit, not kind of a unit. He is a unit.
Yeah. T5, a host of players here: Taylor Pendrith, Wyndham Clark, Alejandro Tosti. Which that guy,
temper. Dude.
Yeah, that's absolute wild card. And then, of course, Rory McIlroy kind of backdoors his way in. I think he purposely bogeyed the last hole. He didn't want to come in too hot to the Masters. That's
they got to tamper the odds a little bit, just like
I didn't text you. I wanted to do it on the podcast. I'm ready to be hurt again. I have officially put real money on Rory McIlroy to win the Masters.
No.
Damn it. I couldn't help myself. I
will tell you, the one bet that I made this week, it was JT.
I know. I stared at JT.
And that's my guy. Like that's the guy I like to be hurt by. Everybody likes to be hurt by
I like
Jordan.
to get hurt by JT too, man. Don't worry.
But Jordan, everybody's in on that. But JT's my guy. I put a futures bet on the Masters for him. Yeah, I mean, Rory could do it. It's such a big mental hurdle. It is. It just is.
I know.
And I just don't know if we'll ever overcome it. I really don't.
It feels like between the other players just kind of limping in to the Masters and
maybe that's more of it than him playing good. I think he's playing really good golf. I think it's like, Scotty outside of this week is kind of like a little limpy, right? Coming off an injury and this and that. A lot of the big names, even Wyndham Clark, right? Like, I know he played well this week, but not been playing that well. It's a lot of the big names not playing well. So it probably adds to the draw of his, betting him at the Masters, I'm assuming.
Yeah, that's that combo with just like his statistical profile is like the most well-rounded it's been of his career right now. Like he's not doing it just with the driver or with the putter.
He's doing it across all forms. Yeah.
Yeah, he's able to win right now with almost anything thrown at him, which looks like it's gonna be a little chillier next week at the Masters potentially. So,
which I don't like, man. I want to like.
I know.
There's something about like a 75, 80-degree Masters that just hits a little differently.
Yeah, I just want to see the sun. I want to see the azaleas popping.
Yeah.
I want it to be a little bit firm. Like, I know.
Yeah, I feel that. I guess we're still kind of far out, but we'll see how the weather changes.
Yeah. Other notables in the field, T32 for Tony Finau, our guy. We are cursed. You sent me the video of him missing like a 1-inch putt.
Dude. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
He pulled the old I'm going to walk in, and you just tap it and knock it in, and didn't even touch the ball.
He stopped it.
Horrible.
God, what are we doing?
I don't know.
Come on. We got to be better than that. Coaching. It is coaching.
It is. We got a bad locker room right now. That's what it is.
We do. We got a cancerous locker room right now.
Yeah.
God.
We got to bring in some kind of consultant or something to clean some shit up for us.
I need a coach or GM. I don't know what we need. We need something. We got guys missing 1-inch putts.
I know. Michael Kim though.
Shout out to him.
Got him in the Masters. He's played every tournament since Waste Management, I think.
Yeah.
Grinded his way in the top 50.
And he admitted coming into this week, he was like, I'm on fumes. I'm on fumes.
Yeah, gotta be.
12 weeks in a row. I mean, that's what it was. It was 12 weeks in a row.
Jeez. Yeah, I love golf. I don't know if I love it 12 weeks in a row.
I don't know if and then you throw in flying across the country and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that alone, you talk about 3 weeks in a row.
Yeah, travel, all the pro-ams, practice rounds.
For the record, we didn't even, I had my whole rant on why, a 25-year-old amateur golfer couldn't make it. We didn't even talk about, hey, you have to go on a plane for 4 hours, get off of it, play 2 practice rounds and a pro-am, and do all, that is just, it's insane. To do it 12 weeks in a row and then make the Masters. Shout out to our boy Michael Kim. I think it's well-deserved at this point.
Yeah. I'm excited. That'll be fun to watch. He's got a game that can fit Augusta, so I don't know that he's going to win or anything, but I could, top 20 Michael Kim, could definitely see something like that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Last one here, Sahith. I think our board may be gone.
He might be broken.
T67. I don't know. It's just been not good.
Throw him on the island of misfit toys with our boy Max. I mean, between the two of them, they are lost.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, lost. At least Spieth is showing some signs of life. We got something we can actually root for.
He's had signs, right? Max and Sahith, man, he threw a club last week. He almost hit someone in the crowd. Just a tough scene.
Yeah,
from him.
I don't know. TBD on that front. But like we mentioned in One and Done, we took Finau, T32, banked us $51,911. Just simply not going to get it done getting these $50K paychecks every week.
I mean, look, it's a good living.
Yeah,
It's an honest living.
it's it's honest work. Yeah, 3,735th place, not great. 1.3 million. Valero Texas Open time. Would be
You tell
great
me
to
who we're
sneak a
taking.
win in. You haven't even looked. Yeah, you're traveling. I got a whole litany. It's just like a who's who of who doesn't win that we can pick from here.
So we don't have a closer on our hands. Is that what you're telling me?
No, well, maybe at this course. So Corey Connors,
Look,
he's got 3 straight top 10s. He's won twice at this course. Probably the chalk pick of the week, if I had to guess.
yeah.
But that's an option. Tommy Fleetwood somehow never wins, second favorite in the field though, behind Ludwig. He's got like 4 or 5 straight top 20s. Finished T7 here last year. Tommy could be a look, but I just don't think he's going to win. So like, we want winners.
Yeah.
Jordan Spieth won here a couple years ago.
Yeah.
T10 last year. Iffy form, but he's never going to have good form because he's just such a roller coaster. Then you've got Akshay's defending. Don't really want to take him for that reason. Denny McCarthy came here second last year. Sneaky good form. Also T18 the year before here. Lot of just, like I said, a lot of guys that don't win. I don't think I want to go any lower than that group of guys, though, looking at the field.
I'll tell you what. I think we got to go chalk here.
I know. It feels like we just got to take Corey Connors and hope for the best.
Yeah. That's my thought.
He's going to be like 30% owned, but at this point,
that's fine because we'll make up on 70% if he wins. That's kind of my thought behind it right now.
The only, if we wanted to get tricky, which I don't know if we need to, but I will say
we haven't gotten tricky yet this year.
Patrick Cantlay's playing. I don't think he's going to be popular. He has no course history here, so
I don't like that. I don't like that because this course is. I don't want to say funky. That's not the word for it. I just think you kind of have to play it to be good there.
It's a ball striker's track. This is like the Charlie Hoffman Open for a long time, so it makes sense. Like, that's why I think Corey Connors is good here, right? Like, not a good short game, but he strikes the shit out of it.
Yep.
I think Tommy could be. You could put him in that bucket. I just don't know if we need to zig that hard. But like I said, Cantlay. T12 at the Players, T5 at Genesis, T5 American Express, but no history here. But he's only 60% available. Like 40% of the field has used him already.
Fuck it, use him. Use him.
Do you want to save him for like a
memorial? No, I won't pick him anywhere else. I can tell you that right now.
I kind of like this. I think it's going to be bad, but I like it.
Yeah, fuck it. Roll with him. Hey, worst cases, we'll fuck up the rest of the field with slow play. That's kind of...
Yeah, he's another player who hasn't won for a while, so like I think
maybe he comes off of it a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be popular. I think he'll have some motivation to play well.
Going into the Masters, yeah.
I know, let's get tricky.
Yeah. Let's go.
We're not saving him for a big event anyway, so Patrick Cantlay.
The Tortuga himself.
Yeah. Oh God, that feels gross. I hate that. That's fine. They pretty much just guaranteed Corey Connors is going to win, by the way. So everybody
lay the hammer out there.
I'm
going to lay the hammer on Corey Connors now.
All right. Couple of quick notes. One, let's TGL, just a quick overview of the season. Season 1, how'd you feel?
I'm a little I would say this. I'm not disappointed in how it went. I think it was for what it's worth, right? And what I mean by that is it's something to watch in the winter during the middle of the week.
Yeah.
I don't think if you try to get too deep into it, other than that, you're just going to kill yourself. I think for what it is, and I think that's what it is, I think it's great. And I think the guys actually cared about it. I watched the finals, both of the matches. I rewatched them. They care about it, which is kind of cool. The finals was, even though the teams stunk, as far as the people on it, I think in the perfect world, they probably would have loved Tiger and, Jupiter battling, Boston Commons, but that's not what we got. But I think they cared about it, and I think the finals were really, really good. It took till the final match for someone to use the hammer properly. That's one thing. But no, I think for what it is, and that's exactly what it is something to watch during the week in the winter when nobody has anything going on. I think it's perfect. I think there's some adjustments they could make to it, but I think for what it is, I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, I'm with pretty much co-sign that take entirely. The one thing I think would be like they got to do a little more tech wise, just to like one for the consistency, but I think more so just like it's not even just about the tech; it's about like our experience of watching them play on a screen, right?
Yeah,
like there has to be a way to better infuse that into the broadcast.
Yeah, and look, I love Matthew Berry. I do. I think he's phenomenal. I really do. And he's got his strengths, but golf is not it for him. You know what I mean? Like it's not like, and maybe it's him with somebody else.
Yeah,
Maybe a player. Like honestly, I think Kisner would be perfect for it. He gets guys a little rattled, maybe talking crap out there. I just think some kind of player with Matthew Berry, him by himself, is probably one of the adjustments I would make.
Yeah, I think it's got to be more. There's such a balance they need to find of like, okay, this is like a legitimate sport, and it's also just supposed to be like a Tuesday night hang. Like
That's why I think having a player out there that knows all those guys, maybe talking a little trash to him, he's like down on the playing field, is probably not the worst thing in the world. Because that's what you do. Like I go to a simulator in the winter, like you're talking trash the whole time. Like people are hitting, like you're talking when they're hitting. No one cares. It's kind of one of those things. It's like that would make it feel more of a like, hey, these guys are hanging out, playing for money. Playing simulator golf. It would feel more real, I guess.
Yeah. So I don't know. That it feels like I don't know. They're caught between that and the serious competition thing, and it's like they got to strike the right balance. I don't know what that balance looks like, but I think the more they can strike that, the better it'll be.
For sure. Yep.
All right. LIV Golf stuff. Look, I don't follow this closely, but shit's popping off right now, and so we have to talk about it. First off, because I think this is a shorter conversation, this whole Live to Win docuseries thing that they're doing, the Instagram reel is so like cringe and funny at the same time. It's basically them trying to do like their version, I guess, of like a full swing or whatever, but it's like so we were right, you were wrong.
Yeah, guys. That's the problem with it. Yeah. I think if they tried to do the full swing route and like actually tell guys stories, right? I think it would probably have been pretty good, but it's not that. It's like a propaganda piece. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like let's just call it what it is. That's exactly what it is. I think it would have been better if they were like, hey, like, and not even like John Rahm's story, like. Go deep into your lineup and like, hey, this is where this guy came from, and now he's on LIV, right? I think that would have been a cooler thing than what they did, or what they're doing, or whatever, whatever they're releasing at this point.
Yeah, I think I have it pulled up. Let me see. LIV Golf is launching an all-access docuseries Live to Win that will give viewers a look inside the league, its teams and players, premiering April 7th on FS1. So it's like behind the scenes stuff, blah, 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 exclusive interviews, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know. Might give it a little bit of a watch just to see.
Well, I guess I shouldn't say it's not out yet, right? I'm not talking like I've seen it, but I just have a feeling I know what it's going to be. And it's not going to be Gary Woodland going through brain cancer and getting surgery and writing letters to his kids. It's not going to be that, right? Yeah,
it's going to be like, come look at how cool this thing is.
Like, look at us. Like, like John Rahm in a club or something. I don't know. Like, just making stuff up at this point. But I feel like that's more what it's going to be.
Yeah. So kind of secondary to that, actually coming up first, though, they're doing the Duels Miami. So this is sort of their version of the Creator Classic. They've got 2-man teams of a LIV player with a quote-unquote creator. And so they're the teams. Have you seen these?
Yes, I
Okay.
have.
All
Yeah,
right. For anyone
I
who
think
hasn't,
I whenever they get the YouTube golf people involved, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's a good
no,
thing in general. Like
no,
even
I think
LIV, PGA Tour, I don't care who it is. Like I think it's just a good thing in general. It's going to get more people watching.
yeah, they're playing. So it says the duels will feature 6 two-man teams competing in a fast-paced 9-hole scramble, with each creator teaming up alongside LIV Golf Pro. Uh, I honestly think that, like, just on the surface, I think this is a better format than what the PGA Tour did.
I was going to say, I think it is too. Rather than just have them going out there and playing by themselves, I think have them playing alongside of someone. I think it's a good twist to it. Yeah,
Yeah,
I guess.
I totally agree. So the teams: Sergio Garcia and George Bryan, Bubba Watson and Luke Kwan, Joaquin Neiman and Rick Shields, Phil Mickelson and Grant Horvat, the PGA Tour Creator Classic champion, is playing like 3 weeks later in this LIV thing.
Yeah,
Dustin Johnson, this is even more shocking. Dustin Johnson and Wes Bryant, current PGA Tour card holder.
that's a little weird. I'm not going to lie. That's a little weird.
And then Cam Smith and Fat Perez, which is just an electric pairing, to be honest.
So good.
The other thing I think they're doing right, we talked about this with the Creator Classic about how the announcing was a little bit clunky. As much as I like Shane Bacon and all that,
Yeah.
The release says to support this star-studded cast of creators and professional golfers, personalities Mason Nutt, Andrew Santino, Joey DeMar, aka Joey Coldcuts, and Robbie Berger, Bobby Fairways will be commentating on the ground.
That's where it's at.
Yeah, you got a comedian, a couple, a YouTube golf guy, and then a couple of the Bob Doe Sports guys.
Joey Coldcuts is my guy, right? Like
I'm not shocked by that.
He's electric. He is electric. And Bobby Berger is right up there. I quoted him when we were getting ready to do the show tonight. So
exactly. So like I think that the format and the way they're approaching the announcing of it, I think is the right way to go about it.
100%. 100%.
It sounds like they're probably going to have their people in the booth, so to speak, and then these guys are going to be out on the course doing some on-course stuff. But either way, I think bringing that all together is going to be at least entertaining. The weirdest part of all this, they're broadcasting it on Grant Horvat's YouTube channel.
I did not know that, by the way.
So
exclusively?
Honestly, yeah, exclusively.
Interesting.
Yeah, it says fans worldwide can catch the action of the duels exclusively on Grant Horvat's YouTube channel.
And I'm wondering if it has anything to do with the club company he just bought into.
I have no idea, but I also probably has to do with the fact that he's probably got the biggest following among all of this.
That probably helps too. Yeah, he's got a lot of followers.
Yeah, so I mean,
it's crazy to think that he left Good and got more followers than Good does. You know what I mean? Because he was part of those original Good guys, and he left and went and did his own thing. Yeah, he's got a crazy amount of followers, pretty much across every platform. I would say he's probably got the most of anybody.
Yeah, I'm not sure without looking at it, but it's got to be, if not first, he's probably second. So
yeah,
yeah, I don't know, just interesting. This I'm actually kind of curious to see. I don't know if I'll watch it live or whatever, but I'll definitely catch some of it after the fact.
It's interesting that they left off the no laying up guys. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, they're very outspoken, obviously, with LIV and stuff like that. I don't think that's by accident by any means.
I'm fascinated by it. So 1, 2, 3, 4 of these guys just played in the Creator Classic.
Yeah.
Luke Kwan played in the first one. So 5 of the 6 have played on PGA Tour version of this. I'd be willing to bet that they didn't know that they were going to be going to do this thing after the fact.
Yeah, I think it was kind of, I don't know. I don't want to say thrown together, but I think it was probably like, hey, we need to have our own thing with this, right? To bring in new fans. I did see someone was like, I don't know when YouTube golfers push their way into professional golf, but I don't like it. To that, I would say you're an idiot. If you want golf to continue to be on TV, you have to have a fan base that supports that. And I think this is the easiest way to get that fan base or continue to have that fan base that's going to support it being on TV.
Yeah, I mean the other thing with this too is just
Or you're just going to end up like tennis, where you're just like on ESPN Plus all the time. You know what I mean?
right.
Unless
No,
it's a major and it's on ESPN.
right. The I don't all the talk about how like things are getting close towards a deal and stuff. Like this is the evidence where it's like there's no way that
Yeah.
they're close to coming together. This is
I think both parties probably realize that at this point.
yeah. I think that this to me feels more like they're digging in more.
Yeah.
You know,
Doing their
and
own thing.
also it's like another needle at Rory, right? Where like he had the famous comments of the players about like, oh, I'm not into YouTube golf or whatever. If this is successful for LIV, I mean that's a pretty, I don't want to say a black eye, but like that's a win in their column.
And they don't have anybody outspoken against, like I don't really like the guys on YouTube or whatever. It's like, or
Yeah.
I don't like YouTube golf. If you don't have anybody say anything like that, it's probably going to be a win for LIV, assuming that it's not a complete disaster when they do it.
Yeah, and you've got this set of players is willing to go out there and do this with these YouTube creators and stuff.
How many holes are they playing? Do you know?
9. It's a scramble.
Are they? Okay.
But it's like, these guys are willing to go do this. I would guess that the Creator Classic, I would assume it was probably at one point pitched like, hey, let's get some of our guys to play with these guys. And I'm going to assume somewhere along the line that the pros said no, right? The tour players probably said no to that.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. This all it could be like a bit of an own goal for the PGA Tour is what I'm saying. All right. That's enough golf chat. We are on to the patio. We are back with the Patio Beers segment. Just in time for me to go, as I famously said back in January on the Gold Spot. I'm hitting the sober button again, pal, for April. We're hardcore.
You gotta
the training.
Yeah, you got a half marathon coming up. I don't blame you.
I was just taking a look at because I'm in the big ramp up period right now. Like this week, I ran 5 today. I got 7 Wednesday, 5 Friday, 10 Saturday. Just like murder me, please.
No.
So anyway, I'll see you Patio Beers in May. But we can continue doing the segments now. I'll jump in and go first real quick.
Yeah, you go first. You weren't here last week.
Coming off of vacation, I was chatting with my boss when I got back, and I was kind of like, I feel like there's kind of 2 types of vacations. There's like the ones that you can't wait to get home. You almost need a vacation from the vacation. And then there's the ones where it's like, damn, I wish we had just one more day. And this one was one where I was like, shit, I wish we had one more day. Like it was just so nice, so relaxing. The kids were having a blast. It was super low key. Just felt like a good break we needed and felt a little too short. So I guess I don't know what the exact question, but I'll ask this question. Like what percentage of your vacations would you say are the I wish we had one more day versus the I want to get home?
Man, 10% maybe?
Shit, really? That
I say
low?
10, 15. I always, the problem is God bless my wife. She's good at a lot of things. Traveling or scheduling traveling, and her family, love them all, but they always tend to plan vacations like one too many days. Like for instance, like 6 years ago, we did a cruise. We didn't do like the 5-night, 6-day one. We did the 8-day, 9 or 8 nights, 9-day one. And it was just like a hair too long, like a day too long, or maybe a day and a half. Honestly, probably a day and a half.
Yeah.
I would say probably 10 or 20%. I'm trying to think of like the last vacation that we went on. It was like, fuck, man, I wish I had one more day here. Probably 3 years ago, we went on our 10-year to Key West, and it was kind of like we were having so much fun and like not kidding with no kids. It was like, damn, man, I'm like, wish we had this 8th day here, kind of thing. That was probably the last one I went on. But probably 10, 20%. I would say probably split the difference. I'd say 15. That's my final answer.
You might be right the more I think about it.
Because there's just not a lot of vacations like that.
It's just so hard to hit the sweet spot, right? Like you just don't. you don't really know until you're there. You don't, the full conditions you're in, and who's acting what way or whatever, and
Yeah.
what the food's like or what, stuff like that, right? I
Yeah.
think
I,
that
I just
usually.
think of I just think of the 2 times I've been to Vegas.
Oh
The first time was like 3 days, right? 2 nights, 3 days. Perfect. And I was like, by the time the end of it, I'm like, this is perfect timing. I'm ready to go home.
yeah,
I went for 4 nights, 5 days, and I can tell you by like the second to last night, I was like, fuck, I wish I was sleeping in my bed tonight. Like, so it's hard because you don't like want to underplan it, but there is over planning it, right? Like where you
yeah,
stay too long.
yeah. I could think. I kind of feel like if I just had it off the cuff, I would say like 4 nights is like kind of the good number.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it also kind of depends on when you get there. Like if you have like that bonus day, if your travel's early or whatever, that kind of helps too. But yeah, I think 4 nights is pretty good. Once you get definitely if you get past a week, you're really playing with fire. That becomes a true like you just said, like an 8-night cruise sounds like death to me.
Yeah, it was not fun. It was like the last day and a half is like, God dang, dude, we gotta go back to port now. Like, what is like I gotta spend a day and a half at sea. Um, I would say my company is very good at planning trips. It's always a 4 day trip. You kind of have like the day you get there, and then you have I think the key is the 4 day is like you have 2 middle days where it's like, oh, I'm not leaving yet. So you kind of can have like full out fun, right?
Yeah.
And then you have that last day where you're like preparing to leave, but you're still going to have fun. I think you're right about that. The 4 day, it's like you have 2 days in the middle. Like it's not overdoing it. I think that's probably the right amount of days.
Yeah. So ours was Saturday to Wednesday. So that's one,
That's
2, 3, 4 nights, 5
four.
days.
Yeah,
And that feels pretty good because it's
that
like,
that's about right, honestly.
yeah, you get that, like you said, that 2 to 3 day in the middle where it's like good solid days. 2 of those days, you don't have to know that you're traveling the next day. So it's a nice little, you don't have much to worry about.
Well, I think
Um,
there's something about missing 2 weekends traveling because if you do a whole week, right, you're
yeah.
missing the weekend traveling down there and you're missing the weekend coming back.
Yeah.
You
That's
know what I
another thing
mean?
too. We came, the way we did it, like Susie and Zach were on spring break, so like they had that Thursday. They had a 4 day weekend still ahead of them, right? I had to go back to work, but I work from home. It's fine, not a
Yeah,
big deal.
whatever.
But like having that built-in buffer, like you're saying, is really important. If you miss like the double weekends and then it's like back to the grind right away, that's a double
That
whammy.
sucks. It
That's
sucks.
truly the worst. But yeah, I think part of it, a big thing that when I have that feeling of like God, I want to get home. It depends on how you're eating, like the consumption, like the eating
Yeah,
and the drinking. Like you just hit a wall at some point. You're
it
like,
matters.
I
Yeah.
cannot eat any more of this type of food or whatever. And you're just like, God, I just need to get home and like give me a salad.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I think you're right on that. Like 4 or 5 days is probably perfect. You're not missing 2 weekends, right? You're not
Yeah.
you're not doing the travel in 2 weekends.
I think the only exception to that is if you're doing like we're like, say you're going to Europe or whatever, and you're doing like a 2 week and you're going to multiple places, right?
That's
If you're bouncing
different, right?
around,
Yeah,
that's
that's a little
different.
different.
But
Yeah,
if you're
that's a
in
little
one
different.
spot for that long a period, it
Yeah, if
does
you're going to
matter.
like Siesta Key for a week, that's a lot, right?
Yeah, it just feels gluttonous at a certain point,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Oh, good question. Good question. My question, we talked about this a little bit in our text thread. Um, your thoughts on the public having access to private courses? Kind of like what we have in Scotland and Ireland and stuff. Like these are private courses that give public access. Obviously, there's more for tourism, right? But like, let's say on a local scale of like Cincinnati private courses offering a handful of public tee times, so public can play nicer golf courses.
Yeah, I don't want to get misconstrued here because I think we have slightly different takes on this, but I think we're kind of similar more than
Yeah,
you
I
might
think
think.
so too.
Uh, what my issue is golf in America is like either the private clubs or the resort courses kind of dominate top tier stuff that you can play.
like the top 100 courses. Let's just
Yeah. And when you look at, some people do rankings of like the top 100 that you can go play versus like just the straight top 100, and you'll see like the American courses drop. They're like not even in the top 30, right? Like all of those courses that you can go play are outside of America. So my problem is like I hate the inaccessibility, like the large scale inaccessibility of good golf in America. Because even like if you want to play Sawgrass, right, good golf course. You want to play Pebble Beach, good golf course. $700, $800, plus travel, lodging, all that.
Yeah.
So even like Bethpage,
and I think those two courses kind of fall back, and we've talked about it on here. Just the brokenness of like resort golf. You know what I mean? Like you have to stay in our hotel. Well, I don't want to stay in your hotel. Well, you have to. You know what I mean? So like even if the golf was $400, you're going to drop $800 a night staying in their hotel.
Right.
So even if the golf course was reasonably priced, the hotel was not going to be, right?
Yeah. And there, like you mentioned in our chat too, like, you can get invites to go play these. Like you can ask people, you network, you know somebody who knows somebody, things like that. You can get on a lot of really good courses. There's some you're never going to see, right? You're never going to see Augusta.
You're not going to see, most people are not going to see Pine Valley, right?
Right. Things like that, sure. But like, some of your nicer local
Not to be mistaken, by the way, not to be mistaken with the Pine Valley where I'm currently sitting in Fort Wayne. There is a Pine Valley here. It's a nice course, but it's not the Pine Valley.
Yeah. So like, chances are if you've, like for us here in Cincinnati, there's a handful of really good private clubs within an hour.
And I will say the good thing about Cincinnati is I feel like, if you ask around, it's like you can get on pretty much all of them. Like Camargo's obviously the hardest one, right? But like other than that, like if you ask around, somebody knows a member at Coldstream. If you ask around, somebody knows a member at Kenwood. If you ask around, someone knows a member at Macatiwa. Like you ask around, someone knows a member there. And like, dude, like let me ask him. Like he'll have no problem getting you out there, right? So I think where we live, I think private golf is pretty easily accessible if you have the right mindset, I guess is the better way to put it.
Yeah, and I mean Cincinnati is a small enough city that like you just said, somebody who knows somebody. There's enough of a connection there. The mentality around here is generally pretty like welcoming and accepting, and people are like you said, people want to show off their course, right?
Yeah,
if you're a member of one of these clubs.
No, I'm sure New York City's way different, right? Like if you're working in the city and you're talking to somebody and they're like, I'm a member at Shinnecock Hills, okay? Might be a little different vibe. Like it might not be like, hey, I want to show you my club. It might be like, hey, that's where I take my family in the summer and I really don't want you up there, right? Like it might be a completely different vibe. I've never lived in New York City, so I don't know. But just assuming the culture there, like it probably is harder to get on a private course. Like one of the top tier ones in the, in that area.
Right. And obviously a lot of these are bigger metropolitan areas. Like the chances of you knowing somebody that knows somebody is a lot less. So it's just harder to work the network, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so my take on it is, and I said this, if someone pays that amount of, like Camargo Country Club, which is a top 100 golf course in America in Cincinnati, the reason it's nice, the reason the course is immaculate, the reason it is what it is because people pay a crazy amount of money that me and you could put our money together and still not have, right? And pay to make the course unbelievable, right? That's number one. And number two, they get 10% of the play of a public course, right? Throughout the year. They're, a general public, what's called a city golf course, right, is probably getting 12,000 rounds a year, right? It was ballpark. Camargo is probably getting 1,200, 1,300, maybe 1,500. Like there's not a lot of rounds of golf being played on these golf courses. And I think that's what people, when they get mad, like, well, it's stupid that, that's why it's nice, because there's not ball marks everywhere. There's not divots everywhere. Like that's part of it. Right. And so I respect that. Like and I think that's something American about that, of like respecting, like, look, if you want to be a member there and you have the money to be a member there and you don't want me out there, then so be it. Right. Like, I get that. But it's funny, like in Cincinnati, like we talked about, I think people want, like, honestly, I'd say most cultures and most cities, like, if you're like, man, I've heard of that course, like that, like in a conversation with a member that's a member at a course. So let's just say, for the time being, like Muirfield Village, right? Like, oh man, I've been to the Memorial 20 times, and God, I bet that course is fun to play. If you said that, I'd say 9 times out of 10, that member is going to be like, well, let's go play. Like, we'll set up a date. I'll find a date that works for everybody, and we'll go play. Like, for the most part, someone's going to invite. Like, and I always say this, and this cannot go understated. If someone asks you to play somewhere, you say yes, figure it out later.
Yeah.
Because if you say no, you'll never get another invite. And that same member could be like, hey, I know a member at Oak Hills. If you say no, they're not going to. If you say no to, Columbus Country Club, they're not going to ask you to go to Oakmont or Oak Hills or whatever. They're just not going to ask you, because they're like, well, he said no because his wife, or his kids this or whatever. If you say no, they will not ask you again. Like, that's the one thing that I get. I had that run, I think 2 summers ago, where I played like Makatiwa and a couple other courses. And it was like, I had someone ask me like, dude, what the hell? I'm like, when they asked me, I just said, fuck it, I'll figure it out. Like, I'll figure out how to move my schedule around. Like, my wife's going to be mad at me for 4 or 5 days. Like, so be it. Like, I'm going to go play these courses. So I think there's something to be said about that. A lot of times people are like, man, I just can't make that work. And it's like, you can, you don't want to put the effort in to like try to make it work. And I think that's part of like getting on a private course is the networking. A lot of people don't want to put that effort in, right? And and just trying to make it work with their schedule. Like, I think that those are 2 hurdles that people, if they can get over one, they can't get over the other one.
Yeah. I want to say that you said that in one of our early episodes. This is 99. This was probably within the first 20. I think you said that, and it hit, like, I'll never forget when you said that. Like, straight up, I was like, dude, how many times have I like made an excuse to not do something when it's like, man, I get PTO. I have people here that can help out with the kids. I have, stuff like that. Like, I can take 6 hours to go say yes to somebody's invite to their course.
Yeah. I mean, and I still do it for courses that I've played. Like, I've played Makatiwa 100 times, right? But if someone asked me tomorrow to play Makatiwa on Thursday, like, I would make it work, right? Like, I'll come out and play your golf course. Like, for sure I will. I think, and that's the other thing too, is like like when I played Muirfield Village, like, I got to play Columbus Country Club because I played Muirfield Village. I met a guy in my group who I did not know before that, was like, hey, I'd love you to come up. Like, we just got new ownership 2-3 years ago. And because I told him, I was like, man, I heard like they'd gone through some weird times or whatever. And he's like, oh, you'll love it. Went up and played it. Right. Like, so I think the biggest thing too is what I can say is, and I've done this many a times, is like, if you're just talking to somebody that you find out is in the golf, just talk about golf courses. Oh, I've never played that, right? If you haven't played it, don't pretend you've played it. Like, say I've never played that, because then people are more willing to be like, well, I can get you on there. Like, I know some, you know what I mean? Like, it's the little things. So that's where I'm just like, yes, they're not super accessible, but they are if you do the right things, right? Like, if you take the proper steps, you can, that would be a great documentary. Like, this to see, like, through networking, what golf courses you could get onto.
Yeah.
Like, just start picking up the phone, start calling people, and see what golf courses you can get onto. Just use your network you already have to see what courses you can play. I think that would be a phenomenal documentary.
It would be fun for us super golf nerds, but yeah, it would be fun.
Well, I think it would be cool because it'd be like, I would say I have a very widespread golf network, and it would be something if I couldn't get on a ton of new golf courses. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
And then it would tell us like, oh, but maybe it is pretty restrictive, right? Like, I don't know. Be interesting.
I'll just tag along the ride. I'll just ride your
Yeah,
coattails.
like,
to all these
oh, we got
courses.
2 actually. It's me and
Yeah.
another guy that are coming
Yeah.
up.
Trust me, he's cool. He's fine.
He's fine. He's under a 10 handicap. It's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the other thing. And not to quote Country Club Snob because he was on this, but his one big thing was like, you want to play a nice club, get under a 10 handicap.
Yeah.
No one wants to play with a 15 handicap on a hard course because most private clubs, because they're in good shape, most of them are harder. No one wants to play with a 15 handicap that's going to shoot 99, 110. No one wants to do that.
Yeah, that's tough. That's a tough ask to make when you're going to drop a 120.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, what? Like as a member, if you were a member of Camargo, would you want to bring someone out there that's going to shoot 115?
Right.
Probably not. Would you want to play with someone that's going to shoot 78? Probably.
Yeah.
Because then that's the other thing. They take you into the clubhouse like, oh, my guest shot 74 today. You know what I mean? Like it's a bragging thing. It really is.
Hey, you
I'm
go
serious.
show out. Next thing you know, you're getting invited to member guests.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I've been invited to a member guest through the same like. That's how stuff happens. They're like, damn, dude, I need this guy on my member guest team, And then they find out you're giving up 2 shots back to the course, and they're like, fuck, I don't
know. Yeah. That's good. That's good. Nice. Hey, it was good to be back in the saddle here. Good to talk a lot of golf. It was a very golf-heavy episode.
I like that, though. We're back in golf season. We needed that.
I'm so freaking ready. Posted my first score. I will say it was not helpful for my goal of getting to a 5 something. I actually went up. We went from 6.9 to 7.1 with that 81. So we're good though. We're like I said, we're setting a floor. We're gonna raise the ceiling a little bit this year. That's my hope.
Well, our 100th episode is the next episode.
Yeah,
I think we decided what we're gonna do. We're gonna try it.
If you want to try it, we can try it.
We're gonna try to
be a shit show, but we'll try it.
We're gonna try to live stream this on YouTube. That's what we're gonna do.
All right.
So we need people to show up. I know everybody probably has a routine of like listening to this on Tuesday. I would say 9:00. Let's just because we struggle with anything before 9:00.
Yeah.
So 9:00 next
week.
week.
Official word out, but I think 9:00 is a good safe guess.
Yeah, 9:00 next week. We're gonna live stream this bad boy. Comment sections will be open. That's gonna be scary. I'm not gonna lie. Like, there's a few people that I could feel hopping in on this could turn it into a complete shit show in the comment section, but. Yeah. But I think that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do it.
Look, there's a lot of logistics to figure out with this. I don't know how to.
No, we'll get it. We'll figure it out.
We might need producer Nick in the fold on this one. We need somebody running the 1s and 2s while we're
and maybe an admin in the comment section.
That's what I'm saying. You need an adult in the room to like moderate some shit.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I don't know. That's our tentative plan. Don't hold us to it, but we're gonna.
That's what we're gonna try.
All right. All right, everybody. Thank you all for listening. Please subscribe, rate, and review the show. Smash the like button if you're watching on YouTube. Follow us on social media at Back96Pack. And, of course, fan mail. That link's always down in the description if you want to send us something. But until next time, cheers.
See ya.